We are back on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio, News Talk 1180, 1230 KGEO, and 1410 KERI. Our guests in studio, Mark and Cathy Abernathy. So, Mark, let's look a little bit at the national. Why did we lose? Well, we didn't lose that bad because we really got a lot of votes. We got, almost 50% of the votes, 49%, which isn't bad. But would a more conservative candidate have made a difference? Or the second part of that question is, would Rubio have made a difference? Because I think the number I saw was 71% of the Latino vote went for Obama. Would that have made a difference over Ryan, as much as I like Ryan?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think Rubio, of course, would have been a very good candidate for vice president. It would have helped somewhat with the Latino vote, I believe. And we, of course, Cathy and I thought Rubio would have been a great choice before the fact of Ryan being selected. But we also think Ryan was a great choice.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great thinker and a very highly credible guy, and he's a guy who can speak about the economic issues in ways that can help educate the public, which obviously the public needs tremendous amounts of education about economics and how wealth is created and how prosperity is made, because they don't know. They are educated in public schools today. The majority of people in the public schools do not teach economics, at least in the way they should, or as much as they should, till kids come out of high school. Obviously, they don't know economics, but
Sure.
They don't know history. They don't even know the basics. 60% of kids that graduate from public schools, college-bound seniors, can't get into a college without taking remedial classes in reading and arithmetic.
That's amazing.
So the drastic failure of the public schools in this country is a crime upon our children and our future. California is even worse, because California now used to have the best schools 50 years ago in the country. Now we're at the bottom.
Amazing.
So we're at the bottom of a bad batch in the barrel. I mean, American public schools now are number 18 out of the GS20 nations. We're number 18 in education. We are bad in education. We ought to be sick about it. We ought to be up in arms about it. We ought to completely revamp the education system in this country. The current public school system is a failure.
And it's not going to happen. They're not going to change it.
And one more dollar doesn't change.
No.
I always say, what will we pay the teacher more? Are they going to teach the kids the right state capitals? Are they teaching them the wrong ones now because we don't pay them enough? I mean, when does this end about the money?
Mm-hmm.
If you go into teaching because you believe in it, or do you go into teaching because it's a job, it's 9 months, I get the summer off, I get 2 weeks at Christmas.
Can't get fired.
Can't get
Sure.
fired. That's the beauty of the teaching job. Or we had people that went in it for a lot less money when I was going to school, considering the economy at that time, who really believed in teaching and didn't mess up on giving you all the information you need. And today it's so loaded with a political agenda, and we've talked about this before. The agenda and the textbooks of your children's schools, open those books and look what they're teaching them. Government programs. Everything is about the recycling program of the government,
Right.
the clean water program of the government, the clean air program. They're teaching fifth graders this stuff.
They teach that the government is where you get all. Government is the great provider and the great... Okay, what do they teach in public schools about God?
No.
Let me ask you, think about it. What do they teach about God? They teach, if they teach anything, they teach He doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think if teachers could be evaluated on themselves individually rather than being evaluated by the union, and get away from being advanced because they've been on the job for so long, but evaluate each one individually, I think we could clean up the teaching.
Okay, well, you get a teacher, and I'll tell you right now, call me if you want to do that, because I have tried to get teachers to agree to a system, and all I get back from teachers, what if I have a bad principal, or what if I this or that?
Right.
And, well, what about the rest of us? What you all have employers that want the worst teachers in the school?
It's waiting for Superman. Question then, why did we lose the election nationally? What happened?
Well, there are a couple of answers. One of the big answer to that, in my view, is that there are two Americas. I mean, there is a red America and a blue America. And the two Americas, we didn't used to have two Americas 40, 50 years ago. But now there are two Americas, and they don't talk to each other. They don't trust each other. And the one America is still in the they still believe in the biblical worldview, that there is a right and a wrong. There is a God in heaven. He created the universe. He created man in his own image. He makes the rules. He has the authority. He is the author of truth. He has the authority to make. And the Ten Commandments is the basic rules that we live by. You don't kill. You don't lie, cheat, and steal. You respect your father and your mother.
And our founding fathers believe this.
Right, our founding fathers believe it's built into our Constitution, starting with the Declaration of Independence, that recognizes that our rights come from the Creator, not from man. And so this is all built into America. This is where America started, and this is how we became the freest country on earth and the greatest and the most prosperous nation on earth, because of biblical worldview and principles built into the system. So that America still exists, but it is about it's not the all or the majority anymore. It's about half. And the other half now, the blue America, believes that government is the provider. Government is the power. Government is the truth. Government is the answer. We turn to government. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to obey rules. We don't have to obey the Ten Commandments, because there really are no rules. There's no authority.
No absolutes.
No absolutes. There's no authority that's capable of giving us rules. So what's right for me is right for me, may not be right for you. And so we make up our own right and wrong. And it's all okay, so because we have to be tolerant, we have to tolerate all views of all people. And this is the blue America, and we tolerate everything. And there is no real right and wrong. And so government is the only thing that we believe in. And the more government, the better. We want government to grow if we're blue, because it can do more for us.
Sure, and unfortunately we're getting close to 50% of the people believing that. We're having a conversation with political consultants, Mark and Cathy Abernathy.
Mark, since you headed in a religious direction, I sort of believe that, based on what Obama said, this is not a Christian nation anymore. And I think God may have sent Sandy just in time so Obama got elected, so that we could suffer some more, so we'd realize we're heading in the wrong direction.
Yeah, well, we talked about there's a number of us talked about this on election night. That we're praying for deliverance, but God doesn't always give us what we ask for. He answers our prayers, but He may say, "No, you're not going to get that this time, because I have something that I think is more important for you to know right now." Right now, are we being chastised? Is God telling us we have something to learn before we are willing to stand up on our own feet, recognize what's right and wrong, and do something about it? Carter brought us Reagan.
Well, I think, the hurricane, all the polls, no matter what company you support, every one of them, prior to that hurricane, had Romney ahead by 2-3 points in all the targeted states. And growing. It was just growing, and if not tied, but at least growing in every one of them. And then you had the hurricane, and then you had two things happen. The media immediately took Benghazi and the killing of our ambassador and the cover-up off the front page, off the paper, basically, off the media. And the president flew in there, did the bear hug thing, and all of a sudden everything's okay there. When Bush, within 24 hours of Katrina, they were ripping Bush's guts out on his handling of it. What did Obama do in Sandy, other than fly in and go right back to campaigning? The media didn't touch him. I'll go back to that. When they have cleared the decks for him on issues that caused him problem, and they saw this as, well, Chris Matthews, as I was saying today, please don't remember this is the only time, but I totally agree with him. That he said, thank goodness for the hurricane.
Yes.
Now, I don't agree with the part that we want a hurricane, and he later said, well, I don't mean the damage, but it sure saved Obama, which it did. I believe it did. I believe that was the 29th of October, and Romney was not able to pick back up the speed. You didn't see him anymore.
No, the momentum that Romney had stopped cold. And all of a sudden, this warm glow about Obama, he comes in with his bomber jacket and kisses babies and everybody. Post-polling, election polling showed that 4 out of 10 voters were very affected by that, and they said that made them more likely to vote for Obama.
Because remember, at the end there, you're dealing with the undecideds who really, truly, every 4 years don't make up their mind till the last 7 days. And those last 7 days were different and changed. And so, yeah, America got a commander-in-chief. In my opinion, and many, I think, is that slowed down Romney so much he couldn't pick back up steam.
You know, Obama in that jacket reminded me of Dukakis in a tank.
May God bless America.
Amen. And happy Veterans Day, by the way, to you, Mark,
you.
and to you, Clay. And it's Veterans Day today. And I want to thank you very much for being with us. And we'll be back in 167 hours on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio, News Talk 1180.